Welcome to the Life of KG, your ultimate destination for all things motivation and business insights. Join me, Katie Godfrey, serial entrepreneur and the brains behind the KG brand. Along the way, we'll welcome inspiring guests and share invaluable business tips to fuel your growth journey. Don't miss out. Hit that subscribe button and leave us a review. With that said, let's dive into the world of success together. My book is now out. It's called Get Off the Tools and it's a #1 bestseller. No matter what stage you're at in business, this is for you. It's honestly changing people's lives with the amount of knowledge and learning that is inside this book. You also get access to a free toolkit, which is really exciting to help you grow your business even more, but you only get that if you have the book. If you've already read the book, I would really appreciate your reviews on Amazon. It really helps us as authors to be able to sell more books and get this book out there as far as wide as possible. So head over to Amazon and either buy yours or give it a review. Click below in the show notes to go and grab the link. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of A Life of KG. I wanted to do an episode that I don't actually think I've ever touched on before in the 7 years of podcasting, which is women's health and working around our cycles. Now, the reason I haven't touched on it before is because, to be honest, it didn't affect me. Like when people used to say about, oh, I'm on my period and I feel this and this, I was like, it's just a period. We all have to kind of like get over it. But as my body's changed as I've got older, and I think as I've had Brody, I think more than anything, I actually really suffer with time of the month and my, mood and all of that stuff. So I thought it was really, really important to kind of go over this as a business owner, because I think as a business owner, sometimes we feel that we have to work like a horse constantly, like constantly on the go, always have to be that superwoman. And it puts pressure on us, right? Like there's so much pressure to do that. And I'm like, but why? Like we have to work around our cycles, because there's different times in our cycles where we'll be feeling really energetic. There'll be times where we're feeling really low. There'll be times where we might be feeling slightly depressed. There will be times where we're like not feeling sociable. And since I've been having problems, I basically now have PMDD. I'm still getting used to dealing with it all. But since I found out I've had that, I've really had to track everything, to how I'm feeling, my moods, just everything. And in work, when am I more motivated? When do I get more stuff done? When do I start feeling that I'm flaking out and then maybe beat myself up about it? So since I've been tracking it, I'm like, oh my gosh, why aren't we taught this more? And being an entrepreneur and in the entrepreneurial space, I have heard some women on stages talk on this subject, but like I said, it wasn't at a time where I needed to hear it, so I kind of just switched off. I honestly did think, like, what was everyone talking about? We all have periods, like, get over it. I feel like I've been cursed now with PMDD. That's like, oh, this is what you lot are talking about. I'm kind of back in the zone. So let me tell you what PMDD is first. Basically, I'm still learning about it, but I was finding that my mood would go really, really low. And I was like, I'm happy, so why am I depressed? Or why am I thinking certain thoughts which weren't nice when nothing bad is going on in my life as such? I was really snappy with poor Luke. He's the one that always gets it. I was really snappy with him. I felt like I was snappy at my children. I just wasn't me at all. And when I started tracking it, I was like, it's a week before my period's due. And then I would have a period and then I'd feel fine. And then I'd go back to being Kate again. And it is really like two different personalities. It's really weird. I don't even know if I should be this open about it, but it is what it is. We're all women here, as we say. And I know I did talk about it on socials, and the amount of women that come back to me about it that have similar or know people that have it and really, really struggle, and those that just struggle with time of the month and, their week of bleed. So I was like, that's why I was like, we need to do this more. And anyway, so I really, really struggled with this time until I figured out what it was. And then as soon as I know something is wrong with maybe my body, or instead of me going, oh, I'll go to the doctors and get medication for that, I don't. I try and like figure it out myself, which is exactly what I've done. So I've done things like really be mindful of what I'm eating at this time. So mine's like 5 days before I'm due on, I will start feeling super anxious. So I know I have to eat really healthy, good food, not sugary, that doesn't trigger anything any more than it needs to be. Obviously no caffeine, etc. And then it's really difficult when it's time of the month, isn't it? Because we just want to eat binge food, comfortable food, things that just like I'm craving for, where I've got to be really careful with that, because like I said, any sugar or like caffeine will really spike how I'm feeling. But then also just realising to like have that time out and work around it. So it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't until I kind of like figured out that this is what was going on that I was like, there must be ways how I can manage it. So I just think as women, we really don't have to be superhuman all of the time. And when we're running businesses, always remember, as you guys know, I'm always saying, we should be running them how we want to run them and when we want to run them and what that looks like to us. So in our day-to-day, our children, for example, might come into our work plan on when we start, when we finish, all of that jazz, and what our schedule looks for the week or for the evenings. We will roll things around, you know, our teams and when they can work. And we will set up this work schedule which works for us and our families and our teams. But then actually, are you setting up a work schedule that works for you? So I was like, we need to start putting that into place as women, and as business women, because when we are working at our full potential, amazing things happen. And when we're not working at our full potential, we will start feeling down about ourselves, second guessing what we're doing, thinking, why am I running this business? Why am I doing this to myself? And all of the bad things that we might think about ourselves will come out during these times. Whereas if we lent into the good times and then just tapped out a little bit when we're going through certain things or put things in place, then that would really, really change the game. So I'm not no doctor. Please know on this episode, I'm not no doctor. There's no scientifically proven facts that I'm telling you here. I just want to tell you from my experience, and then some clients that I've been dealing with this with too, because like I said, when I put it on socials, some of my clients come forward and was like, yeah, I'm struggling with this as well. And we've kind of been going through it together, and it's helped so many people. So I'm not a doctor at all. Please make up your own mind. But if this will help you, then obviously I will love that for you, because it can be such a lonely place. When I found out that I had PMDD, I didn't tell anyone, because I was like, I can't tell anyone this. I found it quite embarrassing, especially how your mind works during that time. And no one would know other than inside me what was really going on. But actually, the more you talk about it, the better it helps. And actually, when you talk about stuff, you don't realise how many people you're helping. But anyway, I wanted to tell you what tips are working for me. So there is an app that I use, and it's called P-Tracker. Now, P-Tracker, okay, there is so many apps out there for cycles, and I'm sure loads of you already have these apps and stuff in place. If you don't, honestly, just download it. So P-Tracker, I don't pay nothing for it. I'm not affiliated with them or anything like that. It was just, I wanted a free one that I could just download just to really track when my periods were coming on. Then P-Tracker actually lets you add in your moods and how you're feeling. And I was like, oh, this is really good. So then I started testing it off. Okay, if I was feeling low, or if I was feeling anxious, or if I was feeling, I don't know, sensitive, or whatever those would be, I'd be able to go in and add it on. But then also I'd be able to definitely track when it started happening before the period come, make sure that the times were like adding up, and that's how you track that you have PMDD anyway. And then it's just been really interesting like working around that. The other thing that you can do is start journaling. on how you're feeling and do the day and write all the feelings and stuff down, and that also helps. But I prefer doing it on the one app and just making it super easy and really quick and time efficient for me, and that's worked. But these are some things to be able to work around any women's cycle. No matter if you struggle or you don't, these are really good things to work out and put in place. Now, day 1 to 5, okay, so day 1 to 5, this is when you start bleeding. This is your time to rest and recharge, and these are the days where you want to kind of do more admin type tasks, maybe just like ticking off to-do lists, brainstorming ideas, nothing that's going to take too much energy from you. And obviously this depends on how long you're bleeding for, but in that time scale is when you definitely need to do those things, okay? So things that aren't going to take too much energy, because obviously we'll naturally be more tired, our mood might be different, etc. In this time, you also want to make sure that you are trying your best to eat good foods, get rest, get sleep as much as you can. This is the one time you really just need to look after yourself, okay? And this might be where, for example, for me, because my day-to-day now is coaching, I won't host any calls during this time. I actually don't host calls for 10 days because I won't be as active, or I might have brain fog or any of those things. So that's not fair on my clients. So I make sure I don't book anything during that time. And that's what I've been able to obviously work out while I've been tracking all of this stuff. So, anything that's going to give you a slight bit more energy, also do during this time. So obviously that's going to come from your foods and sleep as well. But is there anything that you're like, do you know what, that energizes me more? Maybe that's a morning workout, or going for a walk, or whatever that might be, just to like kind of lift your energy and your mood up. Then we've got days 6 to 14, which is the next part of your cycle, because I learned there's 4 parts to your cycle. You might know this, I didn't, because like I said, I've never really looked into it before. So it's 4 parts to your cycle, and this is the 4 parts that I'm going through now. So days 6 to 14 is when we start getting more creative, when we start getting our energy back, our energy rises. We want to do like more things when it comes to goal setting, start new projects. So if you've got anything going on in your business where you're like, I want to start, I don't know, looking at numbers and seeing how much we can grow and start goal setting, this is the time that you want to start doing that, because you will start getting more creative. If you need to start building an online course, or anything to do with digital product, or something that you need to start creating, or creating a launch for a new treatment, anything like that, you want to do between day 6 and 14. Okay, that's really going to help you, because that creative spark. And this will be similar for all women, okay, this kind of time scale. Every year I host a UK event, and we have just released tickets for our January event, which I am so excited about. You do not want to miss out. We have high level learning, insane speakers, and a community of people that just get it. You will come away from the day completely motivated and loads to be able to implement into your business. We always have extremely limited spots, so if you want to sit at this table, then make sure you head over to go and grab your ticket now. Click below on the show notes and go and grab your ticket. Day 15 to 17, so it's a really small gap. I'm like, oh my God, why can't I be like this the whole month? Because everything would be insane. But that's when you're really high energy. Okay, so this is when we want to do stuff like, I will make sure that I'm hosting retreats in this time. I will make sure I'm doing all my events within this time. I will make sure I'm doing calls. I will make sure I'm doing my team meetings. I will make sure that if I do any type of public speaking, hopefully it will fall within that time. If we want to do any like big launches, all within them 3 days, that's when we will have the most energy. Why do we have the most energy? Like 3 days, but we have the lowest energy for 5. It's so unfair, isn't it? So unfair. As women, it's really bloody difficult. But that's what you would need to do day 15, 17. All your high energizing tasks, do that. Then we have day 18 to 28. Okay, so that's quite a big gap. We need to acknowledge here that there might be potential mood swings. We might feel fatigued, we might feel tired, obviously we're due on. And this is when we just, again, need to just start looking after ourselves a little bit more. So this is my part of struggling. This is my time scale where I'm really not good, whereas the rest of the time I'm okay. So depending what you and your cycles are like, you just need to bear that in mind. So in this time, it might be about closing projects that you're working on, finalising things, prepping and looking forward to your next time when you're got more energy and what you're going to be working on. So really just plan. So they're the 4 different cycles that you want to focus on, okay? And really work your diaries around this. When am I going to do team meetings? Like, team meetings take a lot of energy. And sometimes when I speak to a lot of business owners, especially if they're new at doing team meetings, for example, we might be a little bit nervous to do a team meeting. It might feel quite daunting. If you've got a big group, maybe you have to go over some things that it's just a bit awkward to go over. Then you know not to do that on days 18 to 20, 28. Like, don't host a team meeting. That's not going to help you whatsoever. But if you've done that in your high energy times of the month, then you'll have armour on, you'll be absolutely fine. Any types of difficult conversations you need to have, book them in at the right time of the month and you'll feel so much better. So it's not until you start looking at this as a woman and being like, maybe that's why I was more emotional when XYZ happened. Maybe that's why that didn't bother me at that time, because I was in my high peak of energy at that time, and normally that would have got me quite low. So just look at all of those things as a business owner, and I swear it's honestly game changing. Like I said, I can't host any calls for 10 days unless it's emergency calls, which I always do for my clients, but you know, real like teaching calls or anything like that, or anything that's going to take too much energy, I won't do during this time. But the rest of the time I'm like, yes, let's get going. I will make sure that I do like more creative stuff, that I'm building something. Maybe I'm building a course, or maybe I'm creating content. It doesn't really take too much, like planning all that stuff doesn't take too much energy, so I'll do them during them times. And it's just really, really helped me, because I think, like, I know I do, I just beat myself up if I can't be like Miss Proactive constantly, and why can't I just be on the go all the time? Oh God, I feel tired. Why do I feel tired? Beating myself up about it. Where actually it's like, no, listen to your body, Kate. Like, you're a woman, you're meant to work like this. You're meant to have your ups, you're meant to have your downs, etc. You have to listen to your body and rest. And it's just so, so important. So I urge you to track it, okay, with either journaling or with some type of tracker like P-Tracker. There's loads of new ones on the market which are really, really cool. So do that. So how can we cope when we're in business during this time as well? Prioritising self-care days, okay? Again, it's really, really hard for us to prioritise ourselves. Why though? Why is it hard to prioritise ourselves? Because at the end of the day, we have to come first, because if we don't, our children aren't being looked after, our teams aren't going to be looked after, our businesses aren't going to be looked after. Like, our health has to come first. As women especially, with all these hormonal changes constantly, like we're riding this roller coaster all of the time, we need to put self-care first. And you'll know if you've taken that spa day, or if you took that afternoon off, or you thought, I'm just going to book myself a massage, or I'm going to go for that run, or whatever that might be that fills your self-care cup up, you would have felt so much better after that. So you need to make sure that you take these self-care days. I've really found that going to a spa on the beginning of when I start feeling a low really, really helps, because I can just zone out, relax, you know, just basically take some time out, like have a bit of a pamper, and that really helps. I can't obviously do that every single month. Well, actually, why can't I? Maybe I'll start doing that. But, you know, it really, really helps. So can you get a spa day in? Even if that's, you know, once every 3 months or
once every few months, like try and do that. Make sure that you're delegating tasks. Okay, remember, we don't have to do everything alone. We don't have to do everything like without asking for help. So what team members can you rely on to do certain tasks when you're just not feeling high energy, or when you can't do as much work as what you'd normally do? Who are those that can lean on? Do you need a VA? Do you need some type of support where you can just get on with stuff without feeling guilty, or put down the pen without feeling guilty, or not have to go in without feeling guilty? So can you just rely on others more during this time? Manage stress and maintain a flexible work schedule. So again, we will feel highly stressed at different points. So how do you manage your stress at the moment? What is it that straight away will bring your stress levels down? Because there'll be some things that you're like, do you know what, that really helps straight away, just bring down my stress. And that could be putting on a certain song. It could be watching a certain Netflix series. It could be going on a walk with your kids. It could be taking them to the park. Like, what is the one or two things which you can have in place of when you are feeling highly stressed will just bring you back down? And just having those things at bay. Like, think of it as like a first aid box. If you was to hurt yourself, what would you go and get out your first aid box? So if you're stressed, what would you go and get out of your box of tools to then help you with that? And that's really, really helped me. Like, going for a walk for me is like my number one thing. I know if I'm stressed, I can go for a walk. I will then straight away, no matter what stage I'm at, will get more creative, which then helps me boost like my energy. So try and have that. And meditation can help as well. I really find meditation hard. My brain just doesn't switch off. So, but I know that helps lots and lots of people, which is why I put it on here. And then obviously there's medication. Now, I don't take any medication. I'm not against it whatsoever, because each their own, and do whatever you need to do for you. But what I have done is taken some plant-based medicine. Still medicine, right? But it's plant-based. And I get it online. I've sent people a few of the links. So if anyone does want links, then let me know. Again, I'm not affiliated by them. I've just been testing it out, and it really, really helps. This is tea I've been taking. So when I am in that certain frame of mind, I'll take the tea and it just calms me. There's drops for anxiety. Oh my God. Don't know why I haven't used them sooner. I'm like, I'm just going to go and get my drops. And they really, really help too. And then, you know, that's no matter what time you're on cycle. When you get that bit anxious, or maybe you need to, again, go into a meeting, maybe you need to go on stage, it will just like calm you a bit, and that they've helped loads. I've even let Lola have like a couple little drops under her tongue when she's like freaking out about school or whatever, and that's really helped her as well. Don't know if they're for kids, maybe not, but a drop's not going to hurt. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about was communicating your cycle to your business needs. Like, when it comes to even teams, like, it's okay to talk about, you know, maybe it's the time of the month, or maybe I'm feeling this way because of this, and start making it aware of these things. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but in my salon, obviously I'm not working there anymore, but when I was working there, all of our cycle used to come on at the same time. And then now I'm not there, all theirs link as well still. And it's just really funny that everyone's links at the same time. So it's like, how can you put in place things to be able to help each other, like lean on each other and those type of things. But you also just might want to take boundaries and put boundaries in place for when it is that time. Because does that mean you need less people time? Now, I need less people time. I don't really want to talk that much. I don't want to communicate much with my poor fiance. Like, I just would prefer to be left alone. And so it's making sure, again, that your team, your partner, your family, like, know how to deal with you in those times, especially if they're like severe or just not good. And allowing that to be okay, or giving them a heads up. Like, my partner will know automatically now the times. He'll kind of like see the change, and I think it's healthy having them conversations with your partners and with your family, so So then like know how to deal with you in certain ways. Also when it comes to like relationships and stuff, it was actually on Stephen Bartlett's podcast. They had a session about this actually, exactly what I'm talking about today, but obviously she was way better because she was a specialist. This is just off my own experience. But even when it comes to relationships, knowing how to be loved at like certain points of your cycle is really key for your partner, because there's got to be some times that you're going to be like, I do not want to be touched. And they'll be, oh, you're not on. Why don't you want to be touched? It's like, no, I don't want to be touched. Don't touch me. And then there'll be some times where you just want some loving. So communicating that to them, so they're like, okay, I know not even to go near her at the moment, or I know she's just not going to be feeling cuddles, or this is the part where she needs to be more loved, or this is when she's feeling more vulnerable. Like, get them to understand, because your relationships will be loads better as well. I know ours definitely is loads better after implementing this and him understanding the do's and don'ts, basically. And then just knowing that, you know, we don't have to be superhuman. We don't have to be on all the time. So I really, really urge you, even if you don't have any cycle problems, and please, I'd love you to let me know that you're doing this regardless if you have cycle problems or not. Track your cycle still. You will be so amazed at when are your creative points, when are your not so creative points, when are you feeling more vulnerable, when you're more emotional, when you're more stressed. It's a game changer for productivity. If you're wanting to know more how to, you know, get more things done, if you've got this never-ending to-do list, if you get stuck and think, oh my God, do you know what? There's constantly this list of things to do all the time and nothing gets done, and it gets you down, like, start tracking and start putting the things that you need to do around your cycle, and you'll see they get done. Like, I always find that I procrastinate a lot when it comes to socials. People wouldn't think that because I'm very consistent. Even though I procrastinate, I'm still consistent. But I found that actually writing my emails and, you know, editing anything for socials is best when I'm like on my first 1 to 5 days, when I'm not doing like really creative work. Yeah, okay, that's classed as creative maybe, but to me that's like, I find it more easy. I don't have to think about it. I just need to edit on my phone and that type of thing. So I'll do that between those times, and I'm like, oh my God, this is a game changer. Whereas before I'd be procrastinating because I'm just not in the mood to do that. I want to do more creative stuff. I want to get like on stage, or I want to do this and that, because it was the wrong time of the month for me to focus on that type of work. Whereas now I know what works best for me during the month. I can't tell you enough how much of a game changer that is. So honestly, give it a go. Download the P tracker if you haven't already got one. Get maybe a journal. Start tracking like your thoughts and feelings, and when you are motivated and this and that, and let me know how you get on, because I promise you, you'll thank me. Game changer.